Okay, hey you guys. So today's video is going to be something kind of different. I don't really have a big platform to talk about this on, but Tana Mongeau, she just uploaded a video over an experience that just happened to her and about the N-word and racism. And this has always been something that I'm very interested in. It's one of my very favorite topics to talk about because I feel like I have a lot of knowledge over the topic and I like educating people over the topic, I guess, if that kind of makes sense. And me being a person of color, I feel that it's very important for me to have a strong opinion on this and to be able to educate people on this that aren't as much aware. And it's something I'm very, very, very interested in as well. And it's actually something I plan on majoring in college. Is I want a double major, and I want one of my majors to be in African American studies. And so I guess I should just start this off by saying I'm not attacking every single person ever that's like a Trump supporter, or I don't know, I'm not attacking specifically white privileged people or anything of that kind of sorts at all. I'm just generalizing a statement and making it pertain to this situation as it has when it occurred. So basically, this all kind of like started, I guess. I mean, there's always been racism in America, like, you can't really lie about it, but it kind of became a very, very bigger problem with the announcement of Trump being the president elect. And he's president now, but that's a whole different story. Um, and that's when people started to think that I guess it was okay to tell people who, oh my gosh, sorry, this is just like a really hard topic to talk about. Um, but basically, it's just people feel it's okay to tell my friends to go home and you're terrorists, or for them to even call me a nigger, and for you to even think the thought, process it, say it out of your mouth, and then laugh about it to your friends is not funny. It's not cute. It's not earning you any brownie points. It actually makes me feel very sorry for you if you think this way and you think that there's no problem with telling people that just because they wear, just because, okay, just because they practice a certain religion, or just because they're a certain skin tone, or just because they're from a certain place, for you to feel like it's okay to tell them certain things and call them derogatory terms is not okay. Like, if this is you, I was gonna say no offense, but yes offense. If this is you, you are the problem with America. And for, I just, it's hard to wrap my head around that people were actually think this way. And I just feel very sorry for you and your parents for raising you this way. Um, it's not, it's like, it's a weird topic to kind of talk about because a lot of people learn to think racist thoughts from their parents and what their parents have been told them, what they've heard from their parents, or anyone who they're around all the time, to hear something like that and you see they don't get any repercussions done about it, and so then you're like, okay, well, I can do it too. And that's kind of what fueled um, all of the racists that live in America to just come out and show the world, was Donald Trump being someone very, very influential, I guess you could say, because he has money and he's a white American male. And he is saying all of these things and he hasn't been punished for any of them. And it's really sad to have to say my president is Donald Trump and my president is racist, my president is homophobic, my president is Islamophobic, xenophobic. It's it's hard to say that, honestly. After people of color fighting so hard for their rights, and women fighting so hard for their rights, just everyone fighting very hard for their rights, except for white males, straight males, excuse me. And to have someone like Donald Trump say the things that he says, the things that come out of his mouth, and to have something like that to look up to for my sister's generation, for her brother's generation, for... It just sucks. And to know that she's gonna grow up and it sucks. Just knowing that my sister could go to school and she's 11 years old and someone could say something very rude to her and think that they have the right to say it. It's just not okay. I don't understand it at all. I don't want her to have to go through that, and it's just for her to have to go through that because she's mixed and because she's a woman. It's not fair. And at such a young age like that, words can really hurt a person, and I just want the best for my little sister. I don't want her to ever have to go through any kind of... I just don't want her to have to go through any of that ever. And it's hard because that's also the age where people start forming very strong opinions over certain things and not knowing, they know the difference between right and wrong, but they think it's funny, or they think that it's cool to do things that are wrong and do things that hurt people. It's a sad, sad thing. I just don't understand. And as far as the N-word goes, I don't understand the N-word argument, honestly. The fact that the N-word, okay, it was first used by slave owners to call their slaves and to have it be a harsh word, to have it be a word that hurts you, to be a word that demeans your whole entire human existence, to be basically just called, you're a worthless piece of trash and you don't belong on this earth. You don't deserve to live, is basically what the word was used for. And they used it to have power over the slaves. But my ancestors, for them to turn around and take the word and use it as empowerment, to take the word and say, you no longer have control over us because we took the word and made it something different. That's where the N-word comes from. It's not the fact that, oh, well, they can just go around calling each other those words, but when I say it, it's a problem. Yes, when you say it, it is a problem because you don't fully understand the context of where the word comes from. You just know it's a bad word and that people of color get mad when you use it, but you don't fully understand the context of where the word comes from. You don't completely understand the significance of the word with your ancestors, just like we have to understand that our ancestors went through hell to be able to give us what itty bitty piece of freedom we have today. And for white people to even compare the word to cracker, which has no historical significance whatsoever, is very, very heartbreaking to me. And that is something I will never fully understand. Or and I'm not saying that every black person who says the N-word fully understands the history behind it. There are a lot of people who just say it as a placeholder for a certain word, or they just say it casually and don't fully understand where the word comes from. And I get it, but I fully understand where the word comes from. I understand how it was used, why it was used, and why it's such a powerful word. And for it to come out of your mouth, having none of your ancestors ever going through that ever, and for you to turn around and use that word, that is very offensive to me. And my best friend Rowan, she understands. She knows. She knows that, and she understands. She's not even comfortable using the word whatsoever. Even if it's playing in a song, if it's in a movie, if it's a funny joke, she will literally, if it's a joke or it's like a meme on her phone, she'll literally show me the meme instead of reading it out loud, because she will not say the word whatsoever. She completely understands the context behind the word. And it's people like her, she understands what we went through with the word. And I just have so much respect for her to be so respectful towards all of her friends of color by not saying the word, and not even being an argument over whether or not she can say it. She firmly believes it herself, that that's a word she never wants to use. And for that, I love you, girl. You already know I love you. But I don't want this video to be too lengthy. I just really want to get my point across that for you to go around and think that it's okay to call people all sorts of names, it's not. It's really not. Because you don't understand what it's like to wake up every day and fear for your own life, to go to Target or Walmart or any clothing store whatsoever and get followed around because they just automatically assume by the color of your skin that you're gonna steal something. Or it's always a thought in your mind that am I getting followed around because I'm black, or am I being followed around because they want to ask me a question, or they want to talk to me about something. And you don't understand what it's like to sit in class and talk about racism and slaves and African American history in a class full of white people, and have all 30 of the people in that class turn around and look at you because you're the only African American in the room. You don't understand what it's like to sit here and get pulled over and wonder, is this cop gonna freak out and shoot me? You don't understand what it's like to wake up and live in Black America, where there's cops around the streets all the time, where if we even need any sort of assistance ever, people just assume we're freeloaders and we can't get a job, and where you're ashamed to pull out your EBT card because you don't want people to look at you and think, Black people always need a handout. You don't understand what it's like to go through any of this. And it honestly breaks my heart to know that I live in a world where people say I'm equal to them, but in all actuality, I'm really not equal to them. It's hard being Black in America. It's hard being gay in America. It's hard to not basically be a white, straight male in America. And it's hard to sit there and believe in what you believe and educate others about the importance of history and why I'm doing the things I'm doing, and having them tell me, oh, well, if you believe this, then why don't you believe this? Or, oh, you think Black lives matter, so you don't think blue lives matter, or that all lives matter, only Black lives. Which, that's a whole different video. But it's just the fact that growing up Black in white America is a very hard thing to do, and it takes a lot of strength to grow up in this country where everyone idolizes the white American and you're kind of pushed to the side, but they still tell you that you're equal to everyone else. But yet, are we though? That's, I guess, a question I should leave open-ended. But thank you for dealing with the theatrics of this video. It's a video I've always wanted to make, but since I don't have a lot of people on my channel, I don't want anyone to feel offended. But I feel like with everything that's been going on, I should make it anyway, and I love you all, and please love each other. That's all I want. Peace. No, that's not my outro. Peace, love, and rock and roll. I'm out.